First Alert 7 News. With studios in Midland and Odessa, you're watching Wake Up West Texas.
Good morning, and thank you for waking up with us on this Tuesday. I know it is hard to keep track of which day it is.
It really is. We've been going all weekend long because of this winter storm that blew into the area late last week and into the weekend. Today's another First Alert weather day because of slick conditions, but also bitterly cold temperatures.
Absolutely. Our meteorologist Sawyer McElroy in the First Alert Weather Center. Sawyer, what are you seeing?
Yeah, still dealing with some very cold temperatures and wind chill values across the region this morning. Here's a look at our weather alerts. That cold weather advisory continues until 8 a.m. Mountain Time, 9 a.m. Central Time for those areas in light blue. For wind chill values between -5 and 15 degrees. Freezing fog advisory in effect as well through 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Central Time for those areas in teal. For visibility at a quarter of a mile or less of freezing fog. This is very patchy though this morning, but keep that in mind as you are on the road, seeing those worst visibilities across portions of southeast New Mexico and far western portions of our region. Temperatures ranging from the single digits to the 30s, 18 currently in both Midland and Odessa. Relatively light winds, but we are seeing those wind chill values anywhere from -2 in Snyder to about 33 in Presidio. Looking at satellite and radar, hanging on to some clouds, but quiet conditions. And over the next 3 days, we are going to continue to see improvement with highs into the 40s and 50s coming up by Thursday and Friday as well.
Sir, thank you very much. We begin with your first alert on road conditions across the Permian Basin this morning.
Yeah, a big question for everyone is how are the roads looking as I have to go to work today, or what is it, or whatever it may be. First Alert 7's Lauren Munt is actually out on the roads and joins us live now with a look at those conditions. Lauren's got a driver, she's got a cameraman, we've got a whole setup so it can still be as safe as possible. But Lauren, what are you seeing out there?
Good morning, Matthew. Good morning, Jacob. We are seeing some pretty decent conditions right now on these roads, especially right here on 42nd. It's pretty clear, but again, the key word there is pretty clear. Not quite all the way. There are still some random ice patches, especially like turning into places. You can see it when you're turning onto like some of those lesser used roads. Lots and lots of ice patches on those. We're driving super slowly so that we can kind of keep aware of all of those. Plenty of distance between us. Well, there's no cars in front of us now, but plenty of distance between us and the car in front of us. If there was one in front of us, so that we can brake on time and properly. Just really, taking it slow and being extra cautious. Right now we've gone down JBS and 42nd. Both of them have been pretty clear. We saw like maybe 2 or 3 ice patches while on those roads. But straight down 42nd, we're really looking pretty okay right now. So if your commute is mostly 42nd, you might be okay this morning. We're not seeing too bad. Maybe more so on like closer to the sidewalk. There's a lot more just because that's where all of the rain kind of ran off to last night, or all of the snow kind of ran off to last night. And so we are seeing a little bit more on those kind of sides. Maybe stay in the middle lanes, stay on those farther lanes just to fully avoid it. But we'll continue driving and we'll continue to give you guys the most up-to-date road conditions here this morning in West Texas. I'm going to go ahead and send it back to you guys in studio.
All right, Lauren, be safe out there. But yeah, getting us a little look at how road conditions are.
And we'll check in with her later on in our show.
Well, like we said, roads can be slippery still because of that ice or snow from this weekend. And because of that, local school districts, many of them said things were still too dangerous today.
That includes 2 of our largest school districts, Midland ISD and Ector County ISD, both out of session for today. But they're not the only ones. We have all the latest closures and delays scrolling at the bottom of your screen, but also on our website, firstalert7.com. Those include City of Odessa, though. They're saying they will have a delayed start today because of the weather. All city offices will open at 1 p.m. this afternoon, allowing those roads to maybe thaw out a little bit more. That includes Odessa Animal Services and Keep Odessa Beautiful. They also remind you that trash collection is modified this week, meaning Monday's schedule was pushed to today. Today's is now being pushed to tomorrow. Thursday and Friday, though, we'll have normal pickup schedule.
The city of Midland is also on a delayed start today. Their city offices will open at 9 a.m. Like City of Odessa, that means trash pickup is being adjusted. Yesterday's pickup schedule will be today, and then today's Tuesday trash will be picked up on Wednesday. They plan for Thursday and Friday then to return to the normal collection days.
Now, like we mentioned earlier, a lot of school districts closed for today, including Ector County ISD, Midland ISD here on the list here. But you'll notice IDEA Permian Basin campuses from Midland to Odessa, Travis, Yukon, all of those, Lopez as well, included in these closures. Along with them, Andrews ISD and Big Spring ISD among the district school closures across the area. But Jacob, plenty more as well.
Yes, Coahoma ISD, Grady ISD, Greenwood ISD, no school today. Also Richard Milburn Public School in Midland and Odessa, the Bynum School, and Texas Leadership Public Schools.
There are also some delays to note. Those include McCamey, Kermit, Buena Vista ISD, Ira and Sheffield, Rankin, and Fort Stockton, all among those who are putting off their start for a couple of hours or more. You can find the exact details on when they're starting at firstalert7.com.
Local colleges and universities are also adjusting due to the weather. UT Permian Basin announced that they will be closing campus operations today. So in-person classes are all canceled, but online classes will continue as scheduled. For students that live on campus, the dining hall will be open from 9 a.m. until 7 p.m., as well as the Student Activity Center. They say the gym and library will be closed, though. They expect to resume normal in-person operations tomorrow.
Odessa College and their extension centers have a delayed start of 1 p.m. this afternoon. They say that classes that meet before 1 p.m. are canceled for the day, so check Blackboard for any announcements from instructors about specific class times and assignments. Housing staff will still have the cafeteria scheduled for on-campus residents. Check the Early College High School for students who attend that campus.
Blackboard, I remember those days. Midland College announced a full closure for today due to the inclement weather, so that's all campus administrative offices there at MC are closed. Over the last few days, the Ector County Coliseum was transformed into a warming shelter for anyone who needed to get out of the cold. The shelter included cots, movies, and food. A big help came from the Ector County Sheriff's Office and inmates from their jail who worked to help set up the shelter. They shared some photos here of those inmates working. Ector County Emergency Management shared them, but got a little bit of pushback and backlash. Ector County Judge Justin Fawcett spoke with us about those people that had negative things to say.
Folks have said some negative things about using the inmates. The inmates love getting to work. It gets them out of the jail facility, and it's a little reward for their good behavior.
That warming shelter is still open right now and will be until at least later this afternoon. Organizers are asking that if you need this service, you need a warm place to go, please use it.
We know there's a lot of folks who have never driven in snow before or driven in ice. Then we don't want them on the roadway.
And instead of driving on those roads, you can call this number 432-335-3535 and local law enforcement will come pick you up and take you to that warming shelter.
Odessa Police reminding everyone to be very careful on the roads, even though they look better than they were. But be careful over the next few days as we continue to see sub-freezing temperatures early in the morning. If you have to drive, slow down. Increase your following distance between you and the car in front of you. Give yourself extra time. The icy roads, especially on overpasses and bridges, can create hazardous driving conditions. Odessa Police say the HERO program, by the way, from TxDOT offers free roadside assistance. You've probably seen them on Interstate 20, Highway 191, Business 20. They're all around, constantly monitoring for anyone who may have a flat tire, you need a jump start, need gas, move debris off the highway. Call 877-699-HERO. It's right there at the bottom of your screen, or call 511 for roadside assistance. And if you've missed any of this information, you can find this on firstalert7.com, as well as all of our previous coverage, the latest closings and delays on our website, our First Alert 7 mobile news app, and right here on the First Alert 7 Facebook page. You're even watching us live right now, many of you early this morning, as you're getting continuous updates from our First Alert 7 news team.
Well, some breaking news from last night as a flight bound for Midland had to make an emergency landing after an engine failure. American Airlines Flight 3573 landed safely at Lubbock's Preston Smith Airport. Lubbock Fire Rescue says that the plane had engine failure and oil pressure issues. We're told that there were 36 people on board that plane and none of them were injured. A separate plane from Midland then flew to Lubbock to pick up those passengers and bring them back here. We want to remind you that Tom's Coats is still going on here at First Alert 7, and we are asking for your help to keep West Texans warm. You can drop off new or gently used coats at the Frost Bank locations in Midland or Odessa. You can also take them to Odessa College, the Llewellyn Garcia Pipkin Funeral Home in Midland, or here at the First Alert 7 studios inside Music City Mall. Donations will last through January 31st, and then at the end of the month, all these coats will go to the Salvation Army to help those in need.
Don't forget our West Texas Grub Games are on, brought to you by Alpha Omega, the leadership company. The first round of voting continues there on our website. We're narrowing down the list of restaurants from across the area down to the best place to eat in West Texas. And if the restaurant you nominated wins, you could win a $300 gift card and a swag bag. So enter now, firstalert7.com/contests.
And while you're on the contests page, you can win 2 tickets to George Strait's concert in Lubbock on April 24th. You'll also get a $100 gas card to pay for your journey. To win these, go to our website, firstalert7.com, and submit your favorite George Strait song. We'll then announce a winner live during the 10 o'clock news on April 3rd.
But the time now is 6:10 on this Tuesday morning, a First Alert weather day.
So let's go look at your forecast with meteorologist Sawyer McElroy. Sawyer, how cold is it outside right now?
Yeah, luckily not as cold as we were seeing yesterday morning, but still very cold as we do start off our Tuesday morning. That cold weather advisory does continue through 8 a.m. Mountain Time, 9 a.m. Central Time for those areas highlighted in blue for wind chill values anywhere between -5 to 15 degrees above zero. Then also a freezing fog advisory in effect once again this morning. That is through 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Central Time for those areas in that teal color for visibility at 1/4 mile or less of freezing fog. This is very patchy this morning, and we are seeing worse conditions across portions of southeast New Mexico and far western portions of our region as you head towards far west Texas. We are dealing with those temperatures this morning anywhere from the single digits across portions of southeast New Mexico to the 30s, 18 currently in both Midland and Odessa. Those winds anywhere from being calm to about 15 miles per hour, and we are seeing those wind chill values anywhere from -2 in Snyder to 33 in Presidio. Feels like 11 in Midland, so a little bit cooler than that actual air temperature now. Hanging on to some clouds, but otherwise quiet conditions this morning, and looking ahead to that wake up forecast by about 7 to 8 a.m. for the Midland Odessa area, about 18 degrees, partly cloudy skies. Sunrise today at 7:45 a.m. Temperatures will be even better than we saw yesterday with highs back into the 40s, 50s, and even 60s for some, but about 44 for Midland and Odessa as we continue through today. Hanging on to those clouds this morning, then things clearing as we do head into the afternoon and evening hours. A few areas of patchy fog possible once again overnight, especially for eastern portions of the Permian Basin, but overall not looking too bad as we continue through today and into our Wednesday. We are looking to see improvement continuing as we head throughout the extended forecast with those highs back into the 40s and even 50s by Thursday and Friday. The early morning hours, though, do look to remain chilly with early morning lows in the teens, 20s, and 30s. Coming up, though, as we do head into our Thursday, 30 degrees, and that looks to be our warmest low temperature that we are seeing as we head through the week, even though those highs are going to be back into the 40s and 50s, and quiet conditions do look to continue as we head throughout the majority of the next 10 days as well.
Sawyer, thank you. Coming up, the storm that rolled in last weekend, like we've talked about, left roads slick and icy. We'll have a live look at conditions on area roadways next on Wake Up West Texas.
Today on Investigate TV Plus, a single missing signature leaves a grieving daughter in limbo after her mother's death.
We uncover why it took months to get her mother's death certificate, and we'll examine a national problem contributing to the delay.
From First Alert 7 News, you're watching Wake Up West Texas with Matthew Alvarez, Jacob Brandenburg, and weather with Sawyer McElroy.
Good morning. It's now 6:17 a.m. on this Tuesday.
A First Alert weather day. Meteorologist Sawyer McElroy is keeping track of the cold temperatures outside. Sawyer, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Matthew and Jacob. Happy Tuesday. We do have that cold weather advisory in effect now through 8 a.m. Mountain Time, 9 a.m. Central Time for those areas in blue for wind chill values between -5 and 15 degrees. Then a freezing fog advisory in effect as well. That is through 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Central Time for those areas in that teal color. Here's a look at our visibilities right now across the region. The worst of it is across portions of southeast New Mexico and far western portions of our region. As we head through today, those temperatures are going to improve and those wind chills as well, but still you can see those wind chill values remaining in the upper 30s coming up later today. As we head throughout the next 10 days, we are looking to see up and down temperatures with highs in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, but still below normal for this time of year. For today, about 44 degrees under partly cloudy skies and quiet conditions.
All right, Sawyer, thank you very much. Let's begin our First Alert live coverage this morning on area roadways.
Yeah, we actually have a crew out live on the roads checking conditions for you. First Alert 7's Lauren Munt reports from somewhere in Odessa. Lauren, how are conditions outside?
Conditions are looking pretty okay right now. We're actually on 8th Street. We're heading towards Grant, downtown Odessa, trying to get a little bit better of a view there. We did just go down Grandview. I gotta say that might have been the worst road we've seen so far. There were certain spots that were pretty icy down Grandview, so if you're heading, I would maybe avoid Grandview. A lot of it was clear, but there were more icy spots on Grandview than we've seen before. We'll go ahead and show you guys kind of what 8th Street's looking right now. It's looking pretty okay. I'm not seeing anything too bad right now on Grandview, but it's pretty, or sorry, on 8th Street is where we're on. 8th Street's looking pretty okay. Grandview was the absolute worst that we've seen, like I said, heading towards downtown Odessa, and we'll continue to give you guys checks of everything as we continue on.
All right, Lauren, thank you very much for your live coverage there.
And so when people ask, what are the roads like? Well, we're going to try to show you.
There you go.
Let's take a live look outside here over Big Spring. Our Big Spring camera defrosted finally.
Pecos.
We couldn't use that one the other day because
It was frozen over.
was frozen over.
This is the area I'm always worried about, the curve on the interstate.
Pecos has been reliable. They're looking down at Interstate 20. Matthew, we had a debate about this the other day. Which direction is this camera facing?
Northeast.
Okay, so this is looking, so eastbound is here on the right, westbound's on the left.
Correct.
Okay, I think that is the opposite of what we were thinking the other day, but that's why we ask you, because you know everything. But there's a look at the road. People already out on the interstate there in Pecos. That truck going pretty fast, actually, as he goes around that curve in the road that Matthew pointed out. Sawyer, we'll have a look at your latest weather forecast coming up after the break on Wake Up West Texas.
Stay here on Freedom.
This is a First Alert 7 weather day. Now an update from meteorologist Sawyer McElroy.
Good morning, everybody, and happy Tuesday. Still very cold as we do start off our day with that cold weather advisory in effect through 8 a.m. Mountain Time, 9 a.m. Central Time across a good portion of West Texas into southeast New Mexico. And this is for wind chill values anywhere between -5 and 15 degrees above zero. Then we are also seeing some areas of patchy freezing fog once again this morning. Freezing fog advisory in effect through 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Central Time for these areas in this teal color for visibility at a quarter of a mile or less of that freezing fog. For our fog and visibilities this morning, not looking too bad. Actually seeing some improvement even across far western portions of the region, which is where we were seeing the worst visibilities. Hanging on to some clouds this morning, but quiet conditions. Temperatures across the state ranging from the teens to the 30s, sitting at 21 currently at Midland International Air and Spaceport. Winds anywhere from being calm to about 15 miles per hour. Hanging on to some clouds across the state, but otherwise quiet conditions. Looking at those wind chill values, anywhere from -3 in Lubbock to, of course, those 30s for southern portions of the state. 13 degrees for that feels like temperature at Midland International Air and Spaceport. We're going to see a warming trend as we continue through the day. High of about 44 degrees, low overnight of 19. And if you are traveling to Dallas today, expect a high of 39 degrees, partly cloudy skies, mostly sunny. 48 for Houston, 49 and partly cloudy skies for Austin, 40 and partly cloudy for Lubbock. We are going to see our temperatures continuing to increase as we head through the week. Looking at that First Alert 7 10-day forecast. Although those temperatures are going to warm up coming up in the afternoon and evening hours with highs into the 40s and 50s, we are going to still see chilly mornings with those early morning lows remaining in the teens, 20s and 30s throughout the extended forecast.
You know, sorry, the reach of this winter storm was incredible. It was across pretty much all of the southern United States, all the way up to the eastern seaboard.
Yeah, I believe, West Texas had, of course, this winter weather, but then all the way, up into the Boston area, New York area. Central Park, I believe, got like a foot of snow yesterday and over the weekend. So very, very, big reach of this storm, and many areas still dealing with the after effects of this winter storm. Yeah, and part of this storm was also a lot of ice for much of the area, including even here, but some spots got upwards close to a ½ inch or more of ice, including in Tennessee, where trees were quite, not literally, but close to looking like they were exploding. They would split in half from the weight, including here. Look at this. A photographer took aerial photos of a neighborhood in Hendersonville, Tennessee. Look at this. This is northeast of Nashville. The tree here completely split in 4 pieces, 4 even sections. Wow.
They received 4/10 of an inch of ice. It's almost ½ an inch of ice there, well above the quarter-inch threshold considered to be a considerate ice storm. Interesting.
Now, we did hear about the exploding trees. We think this is more just a case of the weight of the ice pulled it in 4 different directions and, perfectly split the tree.
To be clear, the exploding tree was something with temperature. Is that right, Sawyer?
Yeah, so basically the moisture that's already in the tree, pulled up by the roots and how the trees, of course, get water, that froze because of how cold the temperatures are, and that's what caused the exploding trees.
So that's actually an exploding tree.
And that was like in the Midwest, northern portions of the country.
This one here just failed completely.
We think, yeah.
Well, goodness gracious. That's a pretty cool picture, though, I will say. There's a lot more to come on this Tuesday,
including this morning's top stories.
Here's a live look outside of the skies of Pecos. Keep it here on Wake Up West Texas.
Morning, everyone. Time now 6:30 on this Tuesday.
Before you get out the door for work or maybe even school, for some still, meteorologist Sawyer McElroy will tell you what to expect outside. Sawyer, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Matthew and Jacob. Happy Tuesday. Still dealing with very cold temperatures and wind chill values across the region this morning. We do have that cold weather advisory in effect through 8 a.m. Mountain Time, 9 a.m. Central Time for a good portion of West Texas and southeast New Mexico. For wind chill values anywhere between -5 to 15 degrees above zero. Then also a freezing fog advisory in effect through 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Central Time across portions of the region. Here's a look at our current visibilities. Not too bad right now. We actually have seen some improvement in our visibilities across the region. Temperatures are ranging from the single digits to the 30s, 20 in Midland, 18 here in Odessa. Those winds anywhere from being calm to about 15 miles per hour, but we are still seeing wind chill values anywhere from 0 in Snyder to 34 in Presidio. Feels like 20 in Midland, so feeling like that actual air temperature. Looking at satellite and radar, we are hanging on to some clouds, but otherwise quiet conditions this morning, and by about 7 to 8 a.m. for the Midland Odessa area, about 18 degrees with partly cloudy skies. Sunrise today will be at 7:45. We are going to see some improvement in those temperatures once again as we continue through today, with highs ranging from the 40s to the 60s. 44 for Midland and Odessa coming up later on today under light winds and partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies. As we continue through the week, we are going to see those temperatures even better coming up, especially by Thursday and Friday, with highs into the 50s, but those early morning lows still looking to remain rather chilly in the teens, 20s, and 30s as well.
All right, sir, thank you very much. We have your first alert this morning as we are streaming live on the First Alert 7 Facebook page, YouTube channel, and streaming platforms. We're glad to have you here with us. We're keeping a close eye on road conditions from across the area.
Yeah, we actually have a crew out on the roads this morning here in Odessa. First Alert 7's Lauren Mutt joins us live now with a look at those conditions. Lauren, where are you at now and what are you seeing?
I can hear. Okay. Hi, guys. We're here on 4th and Lee here in Odessa. Sorry, I had no idea that you guys couldn't hear me. It keeps connecting to my car, so I was having a hard time, but I can hear you now. We are here on 4th and Lee here in Odessa. Road conditions pretty bad here. Lots of icy spots along this area. We're seeing tons of cars, actually, more cars than I expected here in downtown Odessa this early in the morning, but lots of people heading down these roads, some of them sliding. We've seen a lot of that. We've seen people going pretty fast. Please make sure that you're going slow on these roads. Even though some of them may look okay, there are plenty of ice patches around. We've experienced that as we've been driving around this morning. Go slow and pay attention. Make sure that there's plenty of room between you and the car in front of you. Just be extra careful. I mean, if we can turn looking this way down 4th, it is pretty icy on that road, particularly on one side of the road. It's getting pretty bad over here. I think this is probably the worst that we've seen on these roads today. We went down 8th Street. 8th Street was pretty okay, except there was just a little bit of ice in certain spots. Grandview was one of the worst we saw. 42nd was pretty okay. 191 seemed okay. Those main roads seem to be doing a lot better than some of these less used roads. With these less used roads, you definitely, absolutely need to be super, super slow when you're going down them. But when you're going down 42nd, I'd still advise you to go pretty slow just because those random ice patches can be incredibly dangerous. We'll go ahead and head back out on the road, see if we can find more spots for you guys to keep you aware of your morning commutes, and we'll send it back to you guys in studio.
Lauren, thank you very much for your continuous updates from downtown Odessa, especially where traffic is going to be picking up here shortly, and those slick conditions still remain.
All right. Still ahead, that storm that rolled over through the last weekend left roads slick and icy. We do have another look with Lauren at those conditions of the road. If you're all wondering, where can I go? Is it going to be safe to go to work today? Stick around for more on that next on Wake Up West Texas.
On the next Investigate TV Plus, a single missing signature leaves a grieving daughter in limbo after her mother's death.
We also are being held responsible for figuring out how to get it and how to get this legal document signed.
We uncover why it took months to get her mother's death certificate and examine a national problem contributing to the delay.
From First Alert 7 News, you're watching Wake Up West Texas with Matthew Alvarez, Jacob Brandenburg, and weather with Sawyer McElroy.
Morning, everyone. Time now is 6:40 on this Tuesday, a First Alert weather day with continuous live coverage.
Yeah, we have a team out on the roads here in Odessa checking on the latest conditions before you start your drive this morning. First Alert 7's Lauren Mutt is in the car and joins us live from somewhere in Odessa. Lauren, where are you now and how are the roads looking?
Jacob, Matthew, we are downtown Odessa right now. We've kind of just been cruising along here, checking out all of the roads here. We're approaching 10th Street now. Grant, is that where we're on? We're on Grant Street right now, approaching 10th. These roads are seeming decent, actually. Grant, this side of Grant is not too bad. I will say Grant over on the other side has not been the best. We saw a lot of icy roads over there on 4th and Lee. You can see a little bit of an ice patch coming up right here. These roads are very... It's really a toss-up at this point of whether or not the road is going to be bad. And in certain parts, the road... You're paying attention and going slow and knowing that the road conditions could change at any given moment. And that's the reason I think that a lot of our local businesses, they did end up canceling today, because we are seeing just so many of these roads that are just good in one spot. So you might go out of your house, you might have your morning commute, and you might think the roads are totally fine on your route, and then on other routes they're just not. They're not okay in certain spots. So probably a good call there on canceling and delaying some of those starts. But we are seeing a lot of drivers not particularly paying attention and not going slow necessarily. I would make sure that we are, if you are driving, that you are slow and you are being extra cautious of other people on the road, and taking your time and giving yourself extra time this morning as you head out for your morning commute. But we're going to continue driving around here. The biggest thing we've seen is parking lots being pretty bad and like turns into them. So, if you head into work and you park, make sure that you're, aware that that's going to be pretty bad. Staying on the left side of the road, probably the better option, or the middle, I guess I should say, instead of those right outer sides. Those have been pretty bad, just because that's where all of the water has drained off to. But other than that, I think we're seeing some pretty decent conditions, better than we expected, that's for sure. Just not great still. We're still needing to work back up to what our roads typically look like. But we'll continue driving, and I will say I do like being in here in the car, giving you guys these updates a little more. It's a little warmer than we have been outside these past few days. But I'll send it back to you guys in studio.
All right, Lauren, thank you very much for your continuous coverage coming from downtown Odessa. We'll check with her in just a few minutes.
Absolutely. We did see a Facebook post from Ector County Sheriff Mike Griffiths about 30 minutes ago, said roads are still very slick. So Sheriff Griffiths here in Ector County warning, still take it slow, drive carefully if you're going out today.
And of course, with that means there are several closures and delays from all across area school districts and offices. Now, of course, one of those being the city of Odessa. They have decided to go on a delayed start for today of 1 p.m. That is because of the slick road conditions this morning, allowing the roads to melt maybe a little bit more. This will include the offices of the Odessa Animal Services and Keep Odessa Beautiful facility. But keep in mind, trash collection is also going to be modified because of this. Monday's collection schedule was pushed to today, but today's has now been pushed to tomorrow. So keep that in mind. Thursday and Friday, we'll have a normal collection schedule.
The city of Midland is also on a delayed start today. They plan to open their offices at 9 a.m. Like City of Odessa, trash pickup is also having to be adjusted. So yesterday's pickup day will now be today. Then Tuesday pickup will be on Wednesday. They plan on Thursday and Friday being back to normal.
As far as closures, we have several area school districts, including our two largest ones, which are Ector County ISD, Midland ISD, going to be closed for today. No class in session. They have yet to be all this week because of the slick road conditions. That includes IDEA Public Schools in both Midland and Odessa. That includes IDEA Yukon, IDEA Travis, IDEA Lopez. Andrews and Big Spring also part of these school closures, but there's still many more area school districts closed as well, Jacob.
Yes, also closed today, Coahoma ISD, Grady ISD, Greenwood ISD, as well as Richard Milburn Public Schools in Midland and Odessa, Bynum School, and Texas Leadership Academies.
As far as delays, there are several school districts who are holding off on their starts, including McCamey, Kermit, Buena Vista ISD, Ira and Sheffield ISD in Rankin, as well as Fort Stockton. All of these at about a 10 a.m. start, but check your local school district information. We have that posted at firstalert7.com.
Local colleges and universities also adjusting to the weather conditions. UT Permian Basin announced that they have closed on-campus operations for today. In-person classes are canceled, but online classes will still continue as scheduled. For students living on campus, the dining hall will be open from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. today, and the Student Activity Center will be open as well. However, the gym and library will be closed. UTPB expects normal in-person operations to resume tomorrow.
Odessa College, also a part of this, their extension centers as well as the main campus having delayed start today, so opening at 1 p.m. So they're going to hold off a little bit. They say classes, though, that met before 1 p.m., that are going to meet before 1 p.m., consider those canceled. OC says students should check Blackboard for any announcements from instructors about specific class times or assignments. Housing staff, though, will still share the cafeteria schedule with on-campus residents. Early college high school students should check their website as well as their Facebook page for the latest updates regarding their starts and closures.
Midland College announced a full closure for today because of the weather. So that includes all campus and administrative offices are closed at MC.
We have a lot of information that we just threw at you. If you missed any of it, you can go to firstalert7.com for the latest closings and delays continually updated, even into tomorrow morning if there are any. We'll have that posted. But also you can download the First Alert 7 News app, weather app, and follow us on Facebook.
Some breaking news from last night. A flight headed to Midland had to make an emergency landing because of an engine failure. American Airlines Flight 3573 landed safely in Lubbock at Preston Smith Airport. Lubbock Fire Rescue tells us the plane had engine failure and oil pressure issues. We were told about 36 people being on board that plane. Luckily, none of them were injured. A separate plane from Midland then went to Lubbock to pick up those passengers and bring them back here.
This is a First Alert 7 weather day. Now an update from meteorologist Sawyer McElroy.
Good morning and happy Tuesday, everybody. We do have that cold weather advisory still in effect this morning through 8 a.m. Mountain Time, 9 a.m. Central Time across a good portion of West Texas and southeast New Mexico. Then a freezing fog advisory in effect through 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Central Time for areas of freezing fog, but our visibilities aren't too bad this morning, and they have actually improved as we've headed through the morning hours. Temperatures currently ranging from the single digits across portions of southeast New Mexico to the 30s, sitting at 21 currently in Midland, 18 here in Odessa. Winds anywhere from being calm to about 15 miles per hour, and we are seeing wind chill values anywhere from 1 in Snyder and Big Spring to 34. Feels like 14 in Midland. Looking at satellite and radar, we are hanging on to some clouds, and those will continue through the morning hours, clearing coming up later today, with overall nice day on tap for our Tuesday and heading into our Wednesday as well. Temperatures will be on the upswing as we head through today, with highs warming to the 40s, 50s, and 60s as well. 44 for Midland and Odessa, 46 for Pecos, 49 for Fort Stockton, 60 for Presidio, and winds anywhere from about 5 to 15 miles per hour as we continue through the day. Looking ahead to that First Alert 7 10-day forecast, still rather chilly as we do head into our Wednesday morning with an early morning low of about 19 degrees, but those high temperatures continuing to improve as we head through the week, with highs into the 40s and even 50s coming up by Thursday and Friday. Overall, though, we are looking to see that improvement with those high temperatures as we head through the extended forecast, even though those early morning temperatures are still going to be rather chilly.
All right, you have to say, get ready. These mornings are continually below freezing, definitely very cold outside.
And even though we see the sun come back out, overnight, early mornings can still be freezing. Yeah, so yeah, keep an eye on that and stay warm for sure.
Let's continue our First Alert 7 live coverage this morning in downtown Odessa with First Alert 7's Lauren Munt joining us now live on the roadways. Lauren, where exactly are you right now?
So we've left downtown Odessa. We're back on 42nd Street. We're turning now, I should say, back onto 42nd Street. Heading over to get a look at Dixie. I know that's usually one of our worst areas, especially when it rains. It floods really bad there. So we are expecting to have a lot of ice over in that area, but we're going to go check on that for you right now. But overall, we've not seen too terrible of road conditions here in Odessa. Definitely still some very icy spots in certain conditions, so you need to be careful and cautious of those. But we can give you guys a look of the roadway right now so you guys can see everything. But not looking too terrible. I will say on the outer edge is definitely the worst. It's kind of just where all the water has run off. The inner side, not so much, so definitely stay in those central lanes if you are heading out anywhere today. But, you know, if you don't have to go anywhere today, I would say that you should just stay inside.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's good advice about staying kind of more toward the center of the road.
Yes, based on your experience, though, I mean, you've seen the less traveled roadways are the most slick. You were at 4th and Lee near the Municipal Plaza, very slick area.
Yeah, absolutely. Those less traveled roads, definitely the worst that we've seen. Like you said, 4th and Lee was pretty bad. I mean, that was probably the most ice that we had seen. Some of those other roads we'd seen that have been, I believe we had a pretty bad run on Grandview. We're turning on to Dixie now. Yeah, we can see that there's probably, we'll flip around and show you guys a little bit better there. But you can kind of see that Dixie's a little worse. Again, just some of these less traveled roads, not as good. Like you said, 4th and Lee, Grandview was pretty bad. There were some parts of 8th that were not the best. Some of those more towards the center of town were a little bit better than those closer to the west side.
Lauren, I don't think you've gotten a chance to actually drive the roads yet. You got maybe a little glimpse this morning on your way into work, but a lot of people wonder between Midland and Odessa, going between those two, Highway 191, Business 20, what can people look out for there?
So Highway 191, Business 20, Highway 80, like you said, we've not gone down those exactly. We went a little bit on 191, but not too much. But I am seeing a bunch of people in the comment sections on our Facebook live stream right now saying that Highway 80 is not too bad, 191 is not too bad. I would say with those, just avoid those bridges. Those are definitely going to be the worst spots that we're going to see there. But again, go slow. Yesterday, when I went on Highway 191 yesterday, and it wasn't bad at all. But again, there are those random ice patches. I think that's just the overarching rule of thumb for today if you are driving anywhere, is even if the road looks clear, it may not be. There might be some spots in there that you need to be careful of.
And of course, the advice being still slow down as much as possible, even on roads that you may think is okay, kind of like where you're at right now, black ice, but possibility. How slow have y'all been having to go on area roadways?
I mean, we've been going decently slow. We've definitely not gone up to speed limit. I think we've stuck it around, like right now, I think the speed limit is 35. I think we're at about 25 right now. Just sticking to, about 10 below the speed limit in a lot of these areas that are ones that we really can't tell. We're going well below the ones that are, a little bit, we look pretty clear, but maybe there are some spots. We're going about 10 below the speed limit just to make sure that we're being absolutely cautious. We're staying clear of other cars, hanging back and getting kind of away from other cars so that we don't have to worry about them slipping and sliding if they're maybe not paying attention as much as we are.
I'm glad to hear that. And Sawyer, of course, those temperatures remaining sub-freezing up until later on today when we'll finally get to start melting. But again, it's going to be a continual refreeze for the next few days, would you say, in the morning?
Yeah, the good news is we did see a lot of melting yesterday, especially on those highways. I drove to Midland yesterday afternoon on 191, and a lot of that actually stretch of roadway was dry because of the pre-treatment that TxDOT put down before, the storm even hit. But of course, any, melting that happened yesterday, refreezing this morning. So, and especially right now as before that sun comes up, just be on the lookout for those areas of black ice.
Okay, good advice there. Lauren Munn, thank you very much for your live coverage this morning. Look at the time, it's almost 7 o'clock on
Thank you guys
Tuesday.
for having me. I'm going to get in warm.
Here's a live look outside of the skies of Odessa. Keep it here on Wake Up West Texas. All right, a final check of our forecast before we leave you on this Tuesday morning. We are going to see those very cold temperatures this morning, still in areas of patchy freezing fog. Better coming up later on today.
All right, thanks for waking up with us on this Tuesday.
We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Until then, stay safe and stay warm.